Evelyn, my son's wife, always speaks harshly to me and maintains a snide attitude, no matter how hard I try to build a good relationship. When invited to our granddaughter Sophia's 5th birthday party, my husband and I arrived only to find that Evelyn had prepared food and cake for 3 people. "Evelyn, what about our meal?" "There's only enough for the family." "What?" "I don't serve food to stingy people." I waved the envelope of celebration money I had just handed over. "Joking with $500 for the celebration?" "My dad gave $2,000. It should be at least $1,000. I thought it was a normal amount. I've reached my limit. Can we disown each other after today?" Evelyn said this with a broad smile. "Just having my parents is enough. We don't need you. In fact, you're a nuisance." My husband Daniel and I looked at each other. "Shall we go home?" "Yeah." I clenched my fist. No more enduring. I'll make her regret ruining Sophia's birthday and hurling insults at us. I am a 60-year-old housewife living with Chloe and my husband Daniel. I work part-time at a restaurant. Ever since our eldest son Thomas landed a job at a major company, I've felt a weight lifted off my shoulders, enjoying movies and trips with Daniel on weekends. My husband is kind, and Thomas is diligent and thoughtful. I felt blessed, except for the part where Thomas, even in his late 20s, had no intention of marrying. I hoped to be called grandma someday, but heard that many young people these days opt not to marry. Maybe it's okay. Just when I had almost given up hope, Thomas brought his fiancée home. That was Evelyn, the only daughter of a well-known local company. They met at a cafe near Thomas's office. Evelyn, not inclined toward office work and looking for some social experience, was working part-time there. True to the story that Evelyn had pursued him, she seemed like a beautiful and competent woman who could take the lead with Thomas. The couple was blessed with a granddaughter, Sophia, the following year after their marriage. They lived in an apartment in the same city and visited home with Sophia during long weekends, excluding Christmas. Daniel and I adored Sophia so much that it wouldn't hurt even if we placed her in our eyes. Evelyn always seemed happy watching this. However, despite initially having a good relationship with Evelyn, things started to change gradually due to her requests. When the eldest son and his wife came home as usual, and Daniel and Thomas went out shopping, Evelyn seized the moment to speak to me. "Sophia has sensitive skin, so we have to be picky about the material of her clothes. And when you want something that's also stylish, it tends to get pretty expensive." Was this her way of asking me to buy baby clothes? I wondered. Thomas earns a salary higher than the average for people in their 30s. Wouldn't he easily give money for children's clothes if asked, given how kind he is? Maybe they're saving for the future and don't want to spend from their household budget. And their family seems wealthier than ours. Maybe it's hard to ask her parents? "Do you have a specific outfit in mind, Evelyn?" After hesitating, I asked, and Evelyn's face lit up. "Yes. I love this brand because it's cute. Even famous actresses dress their kids in it." I was shocked when she showed me the prices on her mobile phone. $70 for a short-sleeved t-shirt, $100 for a lace dress, and ballet shoes with a brand logo for $1,000. "Evelyn, isn't that a bit extravagant for folks like us?" When I gently chided her, Evelyn bristled in response. "Don't you think Sophia deserves to look cute? I'm fine with wearing clothes from thrift stores, but I want to give my daughter the best." Overwhelmed by her enthusiasm, I ended up buying high-brand clothes and shoes as she requested. Feeling somewhat reluctant to tell Daniel, "It's from my own paycheck, so it's fine, right?" I justified to myself. I continued to gift clothes and shoes for birthdays and Christmas, in addition to other presents. One thing puzzled me, though. Whenever the clothes arrived, Evelyn would send a thank you message, but never a photo of Sophia wearing them. This weekend, while out with a friend, I shared my concern. After thinking for a moment, my friend showed me a flea market site. "Is this?" I exclaimed in surprise. Just 2 days after I sent Evelyn the clothes, the same items were listed on the site. The same items I bought for her? Yes, the spring limited edition, no doubt. And unopened. I always buy children's clothes here, so I check often. This brand is popular, so unopened items sell for a high price. My friend frowned. I remembered this seller's username because it's unique. They post high-brand items several times a year, so I wondered if they were selling gifts. I was filled with a bitter feeling. If it was just this once, it could be a coincidence. But if it continues, it's safe to assume Evelyn is secretly selling the clothes I gave her. Or perhaps she intended to sell them from the beginning. Since then, checking the flea market site revealed that 2 days after sending clothes, the same items, under the same username, would be listed. Last year, during a visit to my eldest son's family, I finally told Evelyn. "I'm going to stop sending clothes after this time." "Why?" Evelyn puffed out her cheeks. "My husband opposed it because the children's clothes were too expensive. But don't worry, I'll still give toys and gift vouchers like before." I belatedly shared this incident with Daniel. Daniel agreed with us. Evelyn is a housewife, probably selling children's clothes for extra pocket money. If it's hard to say no, you can use my name. Thanks. I'll do that. Sure enough, when I mentioned Daniel's name, Evelyn swallowed her complaints. She's not fond of the reserved Daniel. "Fine then. Daniel is so mean." She spat out bitterly, but that was the end of her begging me for children's clothes. There were other troubling aspects of Evelyn's behavior. Perhaps because of some obsession with cleanliness, whenever I tried to touch Sophia, Evelyn insisted I wash my hands with soap and use sanitizer. Moreover, when I visited their apartment, Evelyn would follow me with a bottle of alcohol spray, disinfecting anywhere I touched, which felt excessive. Even in these times sensitive to infection, being treated like a germ was unpleasant. My distrust of Evelyn grew until she unexpectedly called one day. I picked up, surprised, and Evelyn sounded excited. "We're having a birthday party for Sophia. Would you and Daniel like to come celebrate with us?" "Really? Are you sure?" I asked in disbelief. "Usually, we invite her preschool friends, but we've already celebrated her birthday early this year. So, Thomas and I thought, how about next weekend, Sunday?" "We're free." "Thank you, we'll be there." I was thrilled since I planned to send the gift by courier as usual. Is the doll she wanted before okay for a gift? Or would she prefer a gift card? Could we do cash this time? Understood. After discussing with Daniel, we decided to give $500 and visited our eldest son's apartment the following Sunday. The living room, stylishly decorated with pastel balloons and garlands, was where Sophia, wearing a pink dress and a ribbon in her hair, stood with a shy smile. "Grandpa and Grandma, thank you for coming to my birthday party." Daniel and I couldn't help but melt at Sophia's thanks. She always looked cute, but today she seemed like an angel or a fairy. "Thank you for inviting us. Now 5 years old, you're quite the big sister." "Yeah. I'm a big sister now." Her confident response was endearing. "Thank you for coming, Dad, Mom." We were surprised to see Thomas appear. It had been months, but he looked considerably worn and had dark circles under his eyes. "Have you lost weight? Busy with work?" Oh, yeah. Thomas's vague smile unsettled me. Thomas, you're keeping up with your company health checks, right? Yeah, I am. Oh, sorry, I have a call from work. Thomas stepped into the hallway, ended his call quickly, and returned to the room. I have to go to the office for a bit. I'll be back by evening. Evelyn, please include Dad and them for dinner. Sure. As Thomas hurried out, Evelyn brought in a lavish meal and a whole birthday cake to the dining table. Dad had to go to work, so let's eat now, she said, cutting the bare cake into 3 pieces. Wait, 3? Looking closer, I noticed Evelyn had set the table with only 3 plates and sets of cutlery. In front of a puzzled Daniel and me, she divided the lavish meal into 3 equal parts onto the plates. Evelyn, what about us? I asked, confused, and Evelyn shrugged. There's only enough for the family. What? There's no food for mean people, she sang, waving the envelope of celebration money we had just given her. $500 for a birthday gift? Are you joking? My dad gave $2,000. It should be at least $1,000. I thought it was a normal amount, I murmured in reply, only to be met with her scoffing look. Normal? Oh, I guess for someone who works in a small factory or a part-time housewife, $500 is a lot, right? My apologies. Hey! Daniel, changing color, was ignored by Evelyn as she continued in a mocking tone. Well, I knew this family was poor even before we got married. Old house, old furniture, and on top of that, a mean family. A marriage of such disparity is laughable. But it's worse than I expected. Anger welled up inside me. A marriage of disparity? She pursued Thomas and initiated their relationship, and now she dares speak like this. That's why I always made sure to disinfect everything, so your poor wouldn't rub off on us. It would be terrible if Thomas, who works at a big company, and I, a CEO's daughter, became poor. I see. That's why she was always obsessively wiping her hands with disinfectant wipes. But I've reached my limit. Can we disown each other after today? Evelyn said this with a broad smile. Just having my parents is enough. We don't need you. In fact, you're a nuisance. Daniel and I looked at each other. Instead of anger, Daniel seemed to have moved past it to disbelief, with a cold expression. Shall we go? Yeah. As we headed to the door, bewildered, Sophia came running after us, tears in her eyes. Grandpa, Grandma, are you leaving already? I was looking forward to playing with you. Hearing Sophia's words tightened my chest. I knelt down to hug her. Sorry, dear. We're leaving now, but we'll come back to see you very soon. Be good and listen to Dad and Mom until then. Okay, I will. Behind Sophia, who Daniel was patting on the head, stood Evelyn, arms crossed, glaring at us. Regretfully, Daniel and I left Sophia's side. In the evening, Thomas called after returning home. Sophia's eyes were swollen when I got back. Seems like she's been crying ever since you two left. Is that so? Mom must have left because her stomach hurt, right? Can't be helped. Did you go to the hospital? It's already better, thank you. Thomas's kindness warms my heart. But his wife. After hanging up, a surge of anger welled up, and I clenched my fist. Evelyn probably doesn't care that Sophia ended up crying because she drove Daniel and me away. No more holding back. I'll make her regret hurling insults at us and ruining Sophia's birthday. Evelyn declared we were disowned, but in front of Thomas, she still plays the good wife. She didn't leave the family messaging app, so Daniel and I could still communicate with our eldest son's family. So, I decided to expose Evelyn's true nature to Thomas. I waited for Thomas's break time and posted images from the flea market site to our group message, and Evelyn immediately responded. "Chloe, please delete those photos right now." "Oh, Evelyn. Weren't you the one who wanted to cut ties with us?" Right after my reply, Thomas's message popped up. "What's this about, Evelyn?" "Thomas, don't believe her. It's all Chloe's lie about disowning." "A lie?" "No, I'm talking about the clothes. The ones Mom gave for Sophia. I've never seen her wear them, and now they're being sold on a flea market site." Evelyn, perhaps shaken, read the message but didn't reply. "And it's all of them? Did you make Mom buy them just to sell?" "I can't believe it." "It's a coincidence. Someone else must have sold the same clothes on the flea market." Evelyn's evasion was met with Thomas's pressing. "That's your username, Evelyn. When I get home, I'm checking Sophia's closet. You insist they're all there, right?" "I remember now. Sophia dirted them right after wearing, so I threw them away." "All 20 of them? Selling them all would easily net over $1,000, right?" Thomas's messages conveyed a quiet anger. After a while, a message from Thomas to me appeared. "Mom, can Evelyn and I come over to the house after work? I want the 4 of us to talk." "Wait a minute. I'm not coming. I have to take care of Sophia." Evelyn panicked, but Thomas replied, "I'll ask your parents to look after her. So, we'll come after dinner. I need to get back to work now." That was the last message from Thomas. Soon after, Evelyn called me. "Listen, old hag, don't stir up trouble." "Well, aren't we scared?" I pretended to be intimidated by Evelyn's ranting, but she kept yelling at me without lowering her voice. "I told you we're cutting ties. Don't be all chummy in the family messages." That message was for Thomas. "You're the one who reacted on your own." I told her straight. "Then you want to cancel tonight's visit?" "Thomas will find it suspicious." Evelyn clicked her tongue on the other end of the phone and spoke in a low voice. "Fine. I'll go. But if you pull any more stunts, you'll never see Sophia again. Remember that." "All right, we'll be waiting for you tonight." After hanging up, Daniel and I shared a look and laughed, having listened to the entire conversation. That evening, Thomas and Evelyn came over. Sophia had been left with Evelyn's parents. Evelyn, exuding an aura of displeasure, didn't change her attitude even as we sat down at the dining table. However, she turned pale the moment I laid out the photos. Watching Evelyn hastily gather them and stuff them into her skirt pocket, I spread out the remaining few in front of Thomas. They were photos of Evelyn, close to a man at a club, in front of a champagne tower. "Where did you find these?" Evelyn glared at me fiercely, to which I explained with a smile. "A friend's daughter works at a club. She mentioned that recently a woman named Evelyn has been partying hard there." Evelyn, being quite a beauty, stood out. Doubting it, I showed her your photo, and she recognized you right away. "I searched the handle name you use on the flea market site on social media and found these images." Thomas picked up one of the photos. The usually calm Thomas's face was etched with intense anger. "At a club. Thomas, there's a reason for this. So, you left Sophia with me after my late shifts to party like this every night? The helping a friend with work was a lie, then." Evelyn swallowed her excuses at Thomas's icy tone. Thomas sighed and covered his forehead with his hand. "Selling the clothes Mom gave to fund clubbing? No wonder the allowance wasn't enough with places like that. It's not like I was cheating or anything. This much should be okay." Seeing Evelyn's defiance, I allowed myself a slight smile. Well, this is just the beginning. Thomas, did you bring what I asked? Yeah. Thomas pulled out credit card statements and a debit card from his bag, shocking Evelyn. Don't take those without asking. The credit card is mine, and the debit card is joint. It's fine to show them. Thomas's firm response silenced any retort from Evelyn, who grimaced and fell silent. Thomas spread both on the table, and we all gasped at the sight. No wonder the revolving credit balance exceeded $20,000. And the debit account had only a few dollars left. It can't be. The cards maxed out, and all the savings for Sophia's celebration are gone. Beside a stunned Thomas, Evelyn pouted and turned away. Well, if you are at clubs frequently, more than 10K disappear in no time, right? Thomas, who had been calm up to now, finally exploded with anger. Evelyn! You should never touch a child's savings. Are you even a mother? Shut up, all of you. Evelyn tossed her hair and spat out dismissively. What's wrong with spending your money? You miserly man. She stood up and lashed out at Thomas. Listen, I married you because you worked at a big company. I thought I could spend as much as I wanted without working, live in luxury. But once we started living together, it was all save for the kid, cut back on dining out, all these stupid orders. Who do you think you are? Thomas's face stiffened. After a tense stare down with Evelyn, he sighed softly. All right, let's get a divorce. I can't do this anymore. Since it seems I've made Mom go through a lot, you'll also pay alimony. We're both to blame for the unpleasantness. Fine, I'll ask Dad. He'll happily cover the alimony and the card payments. I don't need any of you. Evelyn laughed haughtily, but I pointed my mobile phone at her. Are you sure you want to say that? What? Your dad's company went bankrupt. Evelyn was shocked. She snatched my phone to see for herself and froze. It just came out on local news online. Haven't you heard anything from your dad? He mentioned financial difficulties due to the recession, but he always gave in to my demands. The momentum she had earlier vanished, and Evelyn's voice trembled, pale-faced. Then, her mobile phone rang. Evelyn took it out, swallowed, and answered. Hey, Dad. The company collapsing is a lie, right? Sorry, I tried, but it didn't work out. So, I'm afraid I can't help you with money anymore. Evelyn's face contorted, on the verge of tears. What? But I'm in trouble. Paying the employees is all I can manage. I'm retiring as the CEO and will live quietly with your mom. You should live well with Thomas and Sophia. Evelyn's dad was loud enough that the whole conversation was audible. Live well, but we're probably getting a divorce. Really? Oh, the club called. When will you pay the $20,000 you owe? Evelyn's face tightened. I thought I'd ask Dad. No, you can't. Her dad dismissed it outright. Evelyn, you're 35, a grown adult. You'll have to figure it out yourself. Good luck. Holding the disconnected phone, Evelyn looked utterly defeated. I delivered the final blow. Actually, Daniel and I have been saving money for when Sophia grows up. $100,000. Evelyn's eyes widened as if they were about to spill over. We saved that money by living frugally and not remodeling our old house. We thought if Evelyn apologized and showed remorse for her actions, we could give it to her to help pay off her debts, but we're useless to you, right? Then I guess you don't need it. Evelyn's mouth opened and closed like a fish, but no words came out. That's all for this discussion. Goodbye. With a cold farewell, Evelyn grabbed Thomas's arm, her eyes bloodshot with desperation. Hey, Thomas, you won't abandon me, right? I didn't mean it about wanting a divorce. I'll apologize, let's get along like before. Sophia's still so young, right? Dad, Mom, sorry for staying so late. I'll discuss the divorce with Evelyn. Thomas spoke calmly, taking the half-hysterical Evelyn home. Evelyn wanted Thomas to reconsider, but of course, that didn't happen, and they ended up divorcing. The payments for Thomas's credit card that Evelyn had misused, the joint account, the club's outstanding bills, and an additional $10,000 in alimony for the divorce. Burdened with debt, Evelyn couldn't rely on her parents and begrudgingly started working part-time. Thomas, under the condition that he wouldn't ask for child support from Evelyn, took custody of Sophia. He still arranges for Sophia to meet Evelyn regularly. Evelyn, working part-time from early morning to late night, lost her former glamorous look and became shabby. I was freed from days of being mooched off and insulted by Evelyn and now live each day to the fullest. Raising Sophia alone would be hard for Thomas, so we've moved in together. Daniel and I decided to help with childcare. On days when Thomas works late or on weekends, I, who finish work the earliest, pick up Sophia from preschool. Sophia is a very kind child, much like Thomas. She makes beadwork accessories and gives them to Thomas, me, and Daniel on our birthdays, along with letters. I'm looking forward to her future. The three of us adults want to warmly watch over Sophia's growth together.